Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. I've put together this little compilation video, I guess, of the budget meetings that's been going on for since May for the city of Troy. And in this video, it's a compilation of the two budget meetings and the last alderman meeting at the June alderman meeting, and there's some real interesting things on here that probably a lot of you are not aware of. Um, the state statutes and the city ordinances state that the city of Troy should have a city administrator, and for some reason, which I don't understand, um, they're not honoring the state statutes or the city ordinances. And in the city ordinances, you can go to the city's webpage, and it's ordinance 115.220 through 115.290. It spells out exactly what a city administrator is supposed to do, how his compensation is figured, um, what his duties are. He's supposed to be an assistant to the mayor, that kind of stuff. There's the state statutes. I don't know. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, or the city ordinance rather. And state statutes, you can go to the state website, and it's in uh, chapter 77 and chapter 79 covers city administrators. It talks about what they're supposed to do. It talks about how to remove one. And just so you know, the city of Troy is a fourth class city. And when the city was chartered, it was chartered with a city administrator. So the only way to remove a city administrator, from my understanding, um, is through a vote of the people. Um, there's got to be 25% of the people that voted in the last election sign a petition to say they want the city administrator uh, position on the ballot and to be removed. That's the only way you can remove it. So apparently Troy's been operating the last 15 years outside of the city ordinances and state statutes. But anyway, in this video, you see Alderman Lyford and Mayor Sconce really arguing against putting the city administrator in position. I don't understand it. I mean, some of the things that's gone on in this town, the Cherry Street debacle, and the streets falling through, and the employees not getting their pay raises, different things. The police department losing people one after another. I don't understand why they're fighting the city administrator, because the long and the short of it, in my opinion only, is if we had a city administrator, our people wouldn't have fallen behind in their pay. The streets would be repaired because he's responsible for some of that stuff. And I keep hearing this uh, shout that, "Oh, we don't have any money. We don't have any money." Well, you can check this on with me. I mean, you can go up and request the financials and the budgets from the city. Um, at the end of fiscal year, that would be June 30th of this month, we're on target to have $17.5 million in the bank. Well, that's after all the bills are paid, since Troy does uh, uh, their finances on a cash basis. So on June 30th, this city's going to have $17.5 million in the bank, and we're losing employees, we're losing police officers, we're losing um, valuable people that we shouldn't be losing because we're pay is not equal to the communities around us. Just for your information, and I know that Wentzville is a lot bigger than we are, but there's no reason why their officers should start out at $79,000 a year, and a Troy police officer starts out at $60,000 a year. That's a big gap, and it's no wonder we're losing people. We were losing people in Wentzville and St. Charles and Oak Valley. They all pay higher than we do, and there's really no excuse for it, because when you figure we have the highest sales tax rate of any city in the area. Right now, sales tax rate in Troy is 10.4%, and in Wentzville, it's right around 8%, 8.4, something like that. But in St. Charles, St. Peter's, and O'Fallon, their sales tax rate is 7.9. And you go to those cities and their streets are not falling apart. They have plenty of police protection. They have, everything that a city would need to be vibrant, to be progressive. You know, we need to get some answers as to why our city is in the shape that it's in. And my personal feeling is that the city administrator could have avoided a lot of the things that's happened to this city in the last couple of years. Take the Cherry Street debacle, for instance. Um, there's no reason why you should feel like you're riding on a roller coaster when you're coming up past Firehouse and Front Street. That is insane. And as I understand it from a couple of people at City Hall, that the mayor approved that. There's no reason for that. There's no reason why that should have been approved by anybody. It should have been ripped out and redone. Well, like I say, that's just my opinion. But kind of look at this video, see what's being said. I really did hit the high spots at the last board meeting. Um, there is no real good argument for not having a city administrator, so we can avoid some of the things that we're going through right now. I don't understand it. Last year the mayor uh, voted to give himself a $20,000 raise, and that is against city ordinances. That's against state statutes. He cannot vote on anything that is a benefit to him. And he was a tie-breaking vote. You know, um, and the thing of it is, he wouldn't even do it out in public. He took it into closed session to pass it. And I think that was just a slap in the face of the public. And I think everybody needs to know about that, and take that in consideration when you're voting the next time, because uh, that was just flat wrong. My opinion only. But anyway, take a look at this video, see what you think. If you got any questions, you feel free to get a hold of me. You can get me on Facebook, but this video will be on YouTube at Troy News and Views. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
In the city ordinance.
Right, we're here, this meeting was called for the department heads.
That's
and
fine.
I appreciate your time, but we're not gonna debate things that aren't on the agenda, okay?
What I'm saying is, city administrator should have been under.
We're not gonna
professional
debate things
services.
that are not on the agenda.
All right,
Thank you.
should be on professional services.
So, any other questions about what we have in front of you?
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. The second round of our budget workshop for the 2023-2024 budget for City of Troy. Got a lot of work to do yet. Got a spreadsheet in front of you. Thank you all for your diligence since the last workshop, looking over things, getting back to us, following up. I appreciate that. This is the most important job that the aldermen have. This is priority one for elected official council member to get the city's budget in order. So we're going to focus on trying to go through this thing, make it look like the way we want it to look. Everyone needs to speak up as aldermen, make their voices heard, come to some conclusions, so that when we get to the meeting or there's a vote, everyone's in agreement. This is a workshop designed for the board of aldermen and the department heads to exchange ideas. I certainly appreciate the public's interest. Everyone who's here to witness, that's great. Please refrain from comments. Use this time to best, the best that we can to implement what the elected officials need to do. Any comments or any questions afterwards, I'll be glad to stick around and answer. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Linda. Legal personnel.
Alderman Tanner? Yes. Alderman Jones? Alderman Norman?
Yes.
Alderman Warner?
Yes.
Alderman Leifer?
Yes.
Alderman December?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly.
The general fund, there's 104,381 roughly. Not including overtime and work.
With the present budget, I support the step 4 pay increase. General fund budget is deficit. I couldn't support the additional money.
Any other thoughts on this? We'll call a roll, please.
Alderman Tanner?
Yes.
Alderman Norman?
Yes.
Alderman Jones?
No.
Alderman Warner?
Yes.
Alderman December?
No.
Alderman Leifer?
No.
I show a tie.
We'll call the roll. No. Item Q, discuss and approve payroll for city administrator in fiscal year 24 budget. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
So we're proposing a budget of 103 for salary. We're adding another $50,000 in benefits. We don't have the wherewithal to go and sort through resumes. We don't have the wherewithal to do background checks. So that means you're going to hire a head-on. Headhunters run 20 to 30% of salary. That's another 26,250. All of a sudden, you have a budget of almost 190. Well, you add benefits. Again, I don't see the benefit, $190,000 to hire a city administrator.
I think it's a benefit for a community, it's a benefit for a town to have somebody who is educated, someone who has had the background in running a city and development for a community.
Well, that goes to then how you're going to write your position. You need to be very specific then in that regard. You can't take what's in our ordinance as to general duties. You're going to have to be specific and define those duties. Who's going to do that? And what will those specific duties
The ordinance
be?
does get pretty specific with the
It's pretty general when you talk about the employee situation that the city administrator. So there's lots of questions.
And that number seems a lot really high too, $190,000.
Well, if you take 103.2 base salary, okay? 25% of that, 26,250, you're at 140. You add another $50,000 in benefits that's on the list here. You're at 190.
And then this 190 is split between 4 departments.
I thought the base, during budget, I thought the base salary was set at 153,000.
Altogether it's 153.
That's
That
including.
was a pretty
Total
good-
with
that was a pretty
benefits
good
is
salary.
153.
That's
50% higher than our others. That was just for demonstration.
Yeah.
In other words, not.
Even after you go through the process, you're gonna have to sit down and iron out a contract that could be 153, it could be considerably higher. It is gonna take a considerable amount of work to hire someone. I don't know if you realize, I mean, it's gonna be the board's responsibility to take this on. You can't ask the admin department to hire their own boss. So it's, I think Gary made a good point. You're gonna have to hire an agency that does this for a living in order to go through the process, which is gonna be another cost that'll have to be budgeted. You're gonna add, even if you split it up, I think even a city administrator would tell you that the majority of it needs to go to general revenue because they're going to handle the police department. They'll be supervising everyone in that department, plus building, plus admin, and that's 80% of your general revenue budget. So the most of that salary is gonna have to come. The auditor will also tell you that most of it will have to come out of general revenue. Had it not been spent the way it has over the last several years, and we had, some leeway there, it would be a consideration, but to drive that close to that $1 million underfunded level is not responsible. I think it's something that needs to be looked at. I think there's probably some advantage. It would certainly be an advantage to me, but in the current budget situation, the way things have unfolded over the last couple of years, I don't see how you can justify it.
Well, even if we budget for it, it doesn't mean we have to hire somebody. We can form a committee, a hiring committee, and interview people that apply. It doesn't mean we have to hire them. We might not like whoever applies for it. You might not get anybody that wants to work here.
That is true.
Well, we want to be able to look at the resume, and we have to verify his references, her reference, his, her reference. Do we have to do a background check? We don't have the wherewithal, as far as I know, to do that.
First of all, too, I think we need to come up to duties and statements for what is he going to do or she, what do we expect them to do? It's great to throw a city administrator out there and thinking, well, they're going to supervise these guys, but.
I believe that's already laid out in our city ordinance.
Yes, it is.
Is it in
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
With the duties and everything.
General,
General.
yeah, I mean, he outlines that he puts together the budget, that he, that all department heads report to him. He would be administrative in every aspect, yeah.
But he still has to work with the mayor and the board of aldermen. He, she.
Yes, whoever this person is.
I think it's worth putting in the budget. Doesn't mean we have to act on it, but I think it needs to be put in there and see what happens.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, but didn't you say last month at the budget workshop that we could split it up however we wanted? That we
I
have the
said just
ability,
split it by, I don't know if I said however we wanted it.
but we have the ability to
But
do that.
I agree that it should be heavily on the general, from the general fund, because that is where the most of the expense is for supervising staff. The police department is the biggest staff of the city, and that's all in the general fund.
Any other questions, comments?
Agree with Harold, it's definitely something that I think should be added and that we should form a committee. I think that's a great idea. Afford it to our town, they deserve it.
So the board is going to form a committee to do the search, is
That's what Harold suggested.
what you're saying?
Well, I think you just put it out there. What means necessary to put the job posting out there and see what we get as far as.
I think that's why you would hire a headhunter, because they're going to do the search. They're going to compile the resumes. They're going to do the background checks. They're going to verify references. And then they're going to submit what they think are qualified persons for us to interview.
Well, we hired a company to tell us how much we should be paying our employees, and that didn't happen either. That was $32,000 or better that we wasted right there.
We could have done it ourselves.
How would they hire people now?
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion believe, and a second on the floor.
Alderman Dunier,
Yes.
Alderman Horner,
Yes.
Alderman Norman,
Yes.
Alderman Lyford,
No.
Alderman Deekemper,
No.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Item R, discuss and approve allocation of ARPA funds to grit and solid removal. That's what we talked about in the workshop. Can I get a motion on item R, please?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Questions? Call the roll.
Alderman Horner,
Yes.
Alderman Dunier,
Yes.
Alderman Lyford,
Yes.
Alderman Deekemper,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Norman,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Item S, discuss and approve wastewater plant operating budget for fiscal year 24 as recommended by Waters and Kern. We have a representative here if you have any questions. It's on the dais here, I believe. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Have a roll, please.
Alderman Norman,
Yes.
Alderman Horner,
Yes.
Alderman Deekemper,
Yes.
Alderman Dunier,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Lyford,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Item T, schedule budget approval meeting for fiscal year 23-24 budget.
I'm looking at hopefully June 29th, Thursday. I'll need some time to get this all compiled. Or even Friday, I know he probably wants to do a meeting on Friday,
Friday, yeah.
but Thursday would be fine.
Thursday, June 29th at 6:30. Does anybody have a conflict with that? 29th.
I'll maybe probably do that, unless we have something else to do.
Sounds like that'll work. I think that covers everything. I'll take a motion. Take a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you.
So we're proposing a budget of 103 for a salary. We're adding another